A few weeks ago, we've heard that Apple will start using a scanning software of a kind to detect any harmful material for children, to report it to authorities. And that was a very striking piece of news because it was very confusing. What does that mean? What are you scanning? And it's a very tricky road to be in because one road leads to another. And what if someone else asks for the information, scan it for other reasons? And we discussed it in detail in another video. But now what happened is what I said is probably a good thing about a community like this is we are vocal, and that level of volume might lead to changes. And Apple has come ahead and said that they will delay the use of this CSAM software hashing, scanning iCloud photos thing until, well, we don't know until when. It's delayed. So this is the statement that Apple gave to The Verge. Last month, we announced plans for features intended to help protect children from predators who use communication tools to recruit and exploit them, and limit the spread of child sexual abuse material. Based on feedback from customers, advocacy groups, researchers, and others, we have decided to take additional time over the coming months to collect input and make improvements before releasing these critically important child safety features. So, in essence, they did not say that it's not coming at all. They will fix it. It's quite, well, it's not really similar, but it's comparable to what WhatsApp did. You either accept our new terms of service or not, and then they receive huge backlash, and then they say we'll delay it until further notice, and I'm still waiting for that prompt. I don't know if I got it or not. And it really reduces the amount of heat a company has, the amount of stress and press that they get because of this decision. And I hope it actually works and they address some of the issues people have with the program or the feature or the software that they will use to scan these photos. And it gives you an idea on how big companies have the most power, but at the same time we have the most power because we have so many different people looking at this company. If it's a small company, an unknown company, not necessarily small, but an unpopular or not known company does these things to exploit users, that's where the danger is, because you don't have many eyes looking at these specific companies. And I guess that's a positive takeaway to take from this. It's delayed because of the issues people have, and we'll see what Apple does. But what Apple has in mind that is not quite controversial is a new feature on the upcoming iPhone 13. So the rumor is September 14 is when Apple will announce the next generation of iPhone, the iPhone 13. And as you expect, better cameras, better screens, smaller notches, better processor, faster internet. And there was one thing that is just recently reported on, and that's iPhone 13 satellite calling for emergencies. And I was like, whoa, what? Well, let's break it down. These doesn't mean that you can call without a SIM card to anyone. Apparently, in emergency situations where you're outside and there is no cellular coverage, but you do have a SIM card installed, it would allow you to connect to a satellite and then text emergency services or text close friends and loved ones to get help, which is really exciting. It's a really cool feature, but I don't know what is the end game with this. So I read this article on 9to5Mac, and it is citing that Mark Gurman says that the feature, the plan, is Apple eventually deploys its own array of satellites to beam data to devices. But that plan is likely years away from taking off. We have seen this with Elon Musk, his plan to send satellites over the Earth that is actually in prototype right now, to give broadband to millions of people in remote areas or areas where they don't get as fast as a connection. And this is exciting. Not right now, because right now we will not really benefit from it except in these emergency situations. But if Apple does send satellites and then Apple provides the internet for us, that seems very exciting. But it's not going to happen in the short term, because Apple relies so heavily on telecommunications companies, the carriers, the phone carriers. And if they decide to suddenly add a feature that allows people to call without using the cell carriers, or that basically kills the business relationship between the two companies or two parties. So you will not see that happening anytime soon, but it's always these small things that we'll see. And I'm very excited to see what the September 14 event has for us. So iPhone 13. It's been a year since we've seen it. Well, not really a year, because iPhone 12 was delayed a month because of the pandemic. But it's been almost a year, and it's the new cycle for the new iPhones. And I'm excited to see what comes next. Have a wonderful week.